Hello, fourth grade. This is Mr. McAuliffe coming to you again from your classroom here at St. Margaret's. It's kind of quiet without you guys in here, but I'm here to read another story to you this week. This book was one that actually Mrs. Townsend had requested that I read to sixth grade, so I'm reading it to fifth grade and fourth grade as well. It's a folk tale that I remember from years ago in elementary school, and it's a folk tale about our national pastime. So that's a little bit of a hint for you if anyone knows what our national pastime is. The name of this book is Casey at the Bat. It's a folk tale about baseball. It was written by Ernest Thayers. Excuse me. And it was copiously and faithfully illustrated by Christopher Bing. Copiously. That's a great fourth grade vocabulary word. I want you to look it up and tell me what copiously means. In fact, as I open the book and get ready to read, I remember that this book has an awful lot of great vocabulary in it. Casey at the Bat. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2 with but one more inning to play. And then when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to that hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a Lulu, and the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey's getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, he tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and the men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more there arose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It knocked upon the mountain and recoiled upon the flat. For Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face. And when, responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat, no stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then, while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance gleamed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered spear came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had Casey not raised his hand. a smile of Christian charity and Casey's visage shone, he stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the spheroid flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echo answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds the cruel violence with his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville, because mighty Casey has struck out. I hope you like that folk tale. It's one of my favorites about baseball. I hope that you guys are doing well, fourth grade, and continuing to do your work. I know as I check in with Miss Rozier, she said you guys are doing an awesome job continuing your schoolwork from home. And you know, that's really important, because just because we aren't in school physically doesn't mean that we're not still in school. And you guys need to continue to learn. So please make sure that you do your work and that you get it back to Miss Rozier so she knows how you're doing as well. I miss you all, fourth grade, and look forward to the time when we're all back here at St. Margaret's together. Until next week, boys and girls, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye, fourth grade.